Okay, so this DNS server has been installed and configured. Now let's do one thing. Let's delete everything out here. So everything has been deleted. Okay. And this is a fresh new DNS server. So we'll assume that while installing Active Directory, we did not choose to configure the DNS server. So we said that we want to configure the DNS server later, not while installing Active Directory. We want to configure it later on. Okay. So what we had to do is we had to click on Add Roles and Features, click on Next, and select the DNS server option. That's it. Okay. So assuming you have installed the DNS server role, right? But you have not configured it. There's no configuration done, Now, one is you can configure this DNS server when Active Directory is installed. You can put a tick mark over there that you must have seen the tick mark, right? When you're configuring Active Directory
Yes.
DNS server. So when you put that tick mark, that means Active Directory will take care of configuring DNS for you. And when you uncheck that tick mark, that means you are saying that I will take care of configuring DNS. And this is what we are seeing, how to configure DNS manually. Okay. Now DNS is divided into two categories, which are on the screen. One is a forward lookup zone. The other one is a reverse lookup zone. Forward lookup zone has what?
Name to IP.
To IP. Reverse lookup zone has what? IP to name. Simple. Okay. So what we are doing right now is you definitely need to start off with a forward lookup zone, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a forward lookup zone. So to do that, I will right click, forward lookup zone, new zone, click on next to this. And then we've got different categories. We've got primary zone, we've got secondary zone, we've got store the zone and Active Directory. We've got all these options. So out of all these three, which one are we going to choose? We're definitely going to choose primary zone. So now let's understand the difference between primary zone and secondary zone. Okay, primary zone is if you're configuring the first DNS server, it will have a primary zone. If you're configuring the second DNS server 2, it will generally have the secondary zone. The meaning of that is primary zone is read write, secondary zone is read only. Meaning secondary zone is like a backup. That means if the primary DNS server fails, then the secondary DNS server will be available. A secondary zone is like a backup zone. In case of first DNS server fails, you have the second DNS server which will handle the client queries. And so right now, since this is my first zone, I will select it as primary, my first server. I'm unchecking this option, which says store the zone on Active Directory. I'm unchecking this option and I'm clicking on next to this. And let me give the zone a name. Right. Now remember, your zone name will be the same name as your domain name. That means our activity domain name is test.com, isn't it? So our zone name also will be test.com. It will not change. If it changes, then that means our name resolution will fail.
Right.
Our DNS server will not answer the correct queries. Okay, so my zone name is test.com. Click on next. And here what it says, what is DNS? DNS is a database. Yeah, right. So DNS is a database, right? And that database has to be stored somewhere. So it is saying this is the file in which the DNS database is going to be stored, and the path is Windows System 32 DNS. Are we fine with it? Yes, we are fine with it. We have no problems with that. We click on next. And then, do you want to allow dynamic updates? Do you know what is dynamic updates?
No.
We just learned it.
Every time what do you say, client is getting added or something, it should also be added to the DNS server, right? To that zone.
Exactly. So that is what we learned. We saw that on the client side there is a setting.
Tomorrow there is another client. Sorry.
No, if you want to stop that from happening, you want to stop clients from registering themselves on the DNS server automatically, then you will say do not allow dynamic updates. So that means what? Then you will have to create the records manually. This is the name, this is the IP address.
That doesn't make sense. You can't do it manually.
Yes, if you have 1000 clients, then all 1000 clients name, IP address, जब भी IP address change हो रहा है, चलो इधर आके change करते हैं. Right. This you can do when you have no work and you want to prove to the management that you're doing some work. Okay. Otherwise, we will leave it as this. Allow both secure dynamic updates. And if you notice, there's one option that is not highlighted.
Allow only secure dynamic.
Yeah, no, and you'll come to know that later on because that option that is not highlighted will be given to you as a homework.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to select this option, allow both non-secure and secure dynamic updates. The meaning of non-secure and secure means allow machines which are part of the domain and allow machines which are also not a part of the domain to register themselves on the DNS server. Somebody from another office has come, they've got your laptop into your office, and they don't belong to your domain. So do you want their records to be created? Right. I don't think it's a good option for me. I really don't agree to that. I would look at the first option, but then it's not available. But anyways, that's a topic for another time. So I will say allow both secure dynamic updates, and click on next, click on finish, and my zone is created, test.com, and my records are there, but not all the records are there because I deleted the zone. So eventually my records will come up. I see only one record, that is DC, and probably over a period of time, I will see the client records coming up. I will see the server records, whatever the infrastructure machines, they will keep on registering themselves. I will just have to come and hit refresh on this, and maybe we will see them coming up.